I was in the Marines, and I was in the 1st Engineer Battalion, and I was a corporal's rank at that time, but I had to take care of machine shops. I worked for Ford before I went in. I was a mechanic. When you join the Marines, you're a rifleman. I don't care if you were a cook or what, but you had to be a rifleman. When we first arrived in Korea, I landed at Wambi-Do. The rest of the 1st Division went into Incheon, but I was an engineer and they needed us to take care of the airstrip that we needed to further our advancement in the war. That didn't take long, and they loaded us up and we went to Busan. I got on board ship, went to Wonsan, where we were deployed. We couldn't even get in for a couple of days because they had mined the port so bad. And the joke was Bob Hope got there before we did because we couldn't come in. They come up through the land and they got there ahead of us. So that was kind of funny. We waded ashore about 2 days after everybody else was there. We did not have our winter gear. We didn't even have parkas till we got to the Chosin. And finally we got some heavy parkas, and your feet would sweat, and then you would be in a firefight and then not moving for a while, and your feet would actually have ice on them. And the equipment wouldn't run. You had a hard time getting everything started. Once you got it running, you kept it running, and then the fuel become a problem. You know, we had to get in enough fuel for the tanks and for the dozers and so forth. One night, our weapons were freezing up, and we didn't realize that you couldn't oil them right away. And you'd shoot a couple times, and the oil would, it was so cold, the oil would coagulate and it wouldn't shoot. The Chinese were coming at me, and they were not very far away, and I went to shoot, and my gun would not work. I had a carbine. And I don't know if I did the right thing or not, but about 6 or 7 were coming at me. I laid down in the snow because the snow was fairly deep, and they couldn't see my breath. And they come by me and they figured I was dead. I really believe that, because they just give me a little kick and kept on going. And that was the closest I come to, you know. My real fear was I did not want to be a prisoner of war. It had to be the worst thing that could happen to a Marine or any soldier. This has all happened at the Chosin Reservoir. The Chosin Reservoir consisted of U Dam, Ni Coterie. Then when we couldn't contain the Chinese, we had to leave. And so we put the division together and had some Army people that got across to us, and we put them in with us, and there were civilians, and we walked back, a total of 60 miles. The infantry, they had nothing. They didn't have no tents. You couldn't get it. You couldn't dig a foxhole because it was froze. You had to pile snow up, and so they, you know, it was nothing that anybody would want to go through again. They were brave men there. They really were. I think it made a better person. I mean, I was one of the lucky ones that did get home. I made up my mind. I already had 2 children, and I said, I'm going to work and I'm going to make a good living for my family, and I did. I know I shot a lot of Chinese and North Korean, but I would like to think in my mind that I never killed one, because it's another human being. I don't care if he's Chinese, Japanese, or what. I just like to think in my mind, maybe I just wounded him and I didn't kill him. I went because I wanted to fight for my country, you know, and also I was in the Marines. I had to go, but I think it was the public in general really had a bad taste in their mouth about the war. We never finished the wars. You know, the politicians didn't let us go and end it. You go to war to win a war. Patton said that in World War II. He said, you might lose a fight or two, but win the war. And that's the way I feel about it.